Hey guys, how's it going? This is Shinobi here from Next Level Gaming Guides, and I'm here with Brian, aka Chuck, from Dara Mactire, doing a one-on-one kind of interview thing. He's thinking about bringing up a channel, and it's kind of a thing that I'm doing is just interviewing some players. Plan to interview Hobbs, Swifty, stuff like that, just to see how they're preparing for Miss Pandaria. And so, what's going on, Chuck? How you doing, man?
Not much. Just been farming that gold, you.
Just making videos and people that don't know you, I mean, they know that you're from Dara Mactire. It's a very famous guild. I have some questions for you here. Pretty much tell the viewers who you are, like, so they kind of know where you come from and your background and all that stuff.
Uh, First off, my name is Chuck, obviously, but I've been playing WoW since pretty much beta, towards the end of it, but I've been switching classes ever since then. Hopping tunes, and then Cataclysm. I finally picked, or End of Wrath Lich King. I finally picked Warrior as my class, and then I was really good at that. I got 2200, joined Dara, everything else.
So how did you actually get into Dara Mactire? Did you have to apply? Did you have to talk to the leader? Did you know any players from there already for people that kind of want to get into Dara? 'Cause it's, Swifty's guild, it's a very popular guild.
Well, yeah, you have to apply online just like everyone else. And I've also played with a few people from the guild, get to know people. Best thing to do is make friends and branch out.
Yeah, exactly. In Miss Pandaria, do you plan to focus more on PvP or PvE or like do a little bit of both or like, because I know you have a lot of characters.
Yeah. Well, at first I'm gonna definitely just be focusing PvP to get ahead, but then eventually I might get into PvE, depends if I like it or not. But if I like it, I might do a little bit of it, but my main focus will be PvP.
One thing I was thinking, like a tip for some of the viewers that like, it's gonna be crazy when Miss Pandaria comes out. It's gonna be people questing in the same area. Everybody knows the strategy. It's the same thing. Expansions later. We've seen a lot of expansions. Questing and PvP gear. Maybe focusing on getting some PvP gear might be a good idea because, you're probably gonna run into a lot of players throughout the course of that. Do you think that you'd be questing more in PvE gear or PvP gear?
I'm gonna be in PvP gear, definitely.
Yeah, it makes sense to me too. It probably means I should work on some of mine for my characters. But what are some tips and slash tricks that you have that might help players prepare for Miss Pandaria?
Pretty much just, get your PvP gear if you're on a PvP server. So, because you're most likely gonna get ganked. Cap your honor and justice points. I would farm gold so you can buy stuff to get an early head start, and then the auction house is coming out.
Yeah, exactly. And like we have in the background here, your pretty much some clips from you playing the auction house, and you've been doing a lot of that lately. Do you think it's been very profitable, and what exactly do you do? Like, what's your strategy for right now? Because you do it a little bit different than a lot of people I've heard of.
Pretty much, buy low. I never buy anything over 100 gold. I buy kata armor, kata weapons, and transmog items. You buy under for about 100 gold, and then repost it for about maybe like 2 to 3K depending on the item, the rarity. You have to look up on Wowhead the rarity. Decide what the good price is. Post it up in the auction house. I started with 5K, made about 60K so far, and have 500K worth of auctions in the auction house.
Wow, so yeah, you have a lot of auctions in the auction house right now, and it does take time to sell that stuff because they're very specific items. And you say selling the transmog gear can be very nice because some people will put things in the auction house, don't even see what they look like, they don't even care, and they'll put them in for real cheap, and then you go and put them on the auction house and sell them for like 2, 3 thousand because they look good, and that's what a lot of players want right now because there's nothing else to do in the game. They want it to look good, I guess. So you can use that gear
Exactly.
forever. Yeah. And you think you're going to be mainly focusing on your warrior for when Miss Pandaria comes out?
Yes, definitely, but I'll definitely be playing my Boomkin a lot more again.
Yeah. What kind of changes to the warrior are you really like anticipating? Do you think they're gonna get better? Do you think they're not as good? What do you think?
Well, right now they're really good, but like there's always been a season where warriors are really overpowered, but then they just hit the nerf bat. But
Yeah.
they always start out good and then get nerfed. So hopefully not.
Yeah, I mean, I played Warrior off and on for many years, but I've always watched Swifty since day one, and he'd always put up these videos, and most of the time Warriors are usually pretty strong, and then like I've seen before, he put a video out where like they nerfed him like once, and so they don't really nerf him too often, but you know, they are a class that you have to get used to, and I mean, overall, I really like the skill of a warrior class. I think it's really cool to be able to charge. And have you seen that new ability that makes you grow and you do more damage? What is that ability for people that don't know?
That's the avatar. It makes you grow and do like what is it, 20% more damage, and you're immune to slows.
That's
Which,
crazy.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Sounds pretty good, if you couple that with something like Blade Storm, which has been getting nerfed and nerfed and nerfed over and over again. You think that having Blade Storm have that immunity, plus you're a human, right? So you have that immunity from your racial, and then you also have this ability. It seems like nobody's going to be slowing you down with the charge and the everything. It seems like warriors are going to have a lot of better mobility, I guess.
And double spell reflect. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And probably running out of time here, but I want to ask one more question. You are starting up a channel, and this is kind of just a segue to get you going with your channel. You posted videos in the past, but they weren't the best quality because your computer was not very good. But you've upgraded a lot since then. Your computer is probably better than mine, and do you feel like you're going to be putting out a lot of videos when Miss Pandaria hits, or are you going to start soon? Or I know your internet's not too good, but what are you waiting for? And what can players really expect when they come to your channel? Like, what is your channel going to offer that you know Bajira doesn't offer, or Swifty, or all those other warriors?
Well, for right now, I'm just be pretty much focusing random battlegrounds to gear my ult for PvE. I mean, for Miss Pandaria for the questing, and then auction house tips and everything like that. Cool edits, stuff like that. Not too much exciting going on. And expansion with mouth hits, it'll really take off.
Yeah, it's kind of the slow part of the expansion right now, where nobody's really doing anything. So, it seems like you got a lot of stuff planned for when Miss Pandaria comes up, and you're gonna really get on top of that stuff a lot. I know for me personally, in the first couple of weeks that Miss Pandaria comes out, the only kind of videos that I'll probably be posting aren't gonna be like crazy PvP or anything like that. It's gonna be mainly just, doing questing and stuff, because that's what everybody else is gonna be doing. Everybody's got to get geared out, and then the videos will come after. But uh, yeah, so this was kind of like the first episode of preparing for Miss Pandaria. I'm going to be interviewing WoW Hobbs, Swifty, a lot of other people, and not only that, putting out a lot of videos about professions and gold guides and stuff to get you prepared and all that good stuff. So it's good talking to you, Brian, and hope you when your channel gets going and you start putting out a lot of videos and get that better internet, I'll be sure to throw you some likes and faves, and hopefully you guys will go and subscribe to his channel, because I played with him for a long time. We've been on a lot of videos together, and he definitely knows what he's doing. So yep, till next time, see you later, Brian.
See you later.